Beans, he was on the platform and he showed you nothing but love too, but he did tell me that his album, The Becoming, it came out without him knowing.
That's because he was in. He was. Don't you think? Hold on. Time out. Time out. He was in prison, so of course it would have came out better if he wasn't in prison. The celebration to me there would be that someone even put his album out at all and cared because nobody else wanted to do it. So my plan for Beanie was to make, because I didn't know if he was going to get convicted or not. I was trying to make 3 or 4 albums so he could get $1 million because he got $1 million advance. Everyone did that sold over 500,000 records. So I just wanted to keep him with $1 million every year he was in jail to take care of his family. But I didn't have any support. So yeah, it's kind of hard to do everything on your own. So I basically, when he did his, when we released his album, I physically went and performed his records. That's my street team. So it's like, nothing's perfect. I would have rather it come out of, I would have rather him not been in jail. I would have rather not had to go to court every day from Philly, from Tribeca. I would have rather not had to, he did his house arrest. Like I had people talking to the judge, the jail. He did his house arrest in one of my cribs. Luckily, I had a few, but he did it in Tribeca so he could still work. When he was going through his trial or when he was home on bail, I had him in a 5,000 square foot Tribeca loft, and his whole crew stood there. And then, I made sure that he was protected by having cameras on at every second. And I made sure that we looked strong and that everybody in Roc-A-Fella came to support him at least once. That's what I did.
Yeah, he said that he had no idea that the Feeling in the Air video came out until he seen it on TV when he was in prison.
Oh, no, no. Feel It in the Air. Let me just tell you about Feeling It in the Air. I had Mariah Carey actually laid the vocals for Feeling It in the Air for uh, Beanie, and he swapped out the singer for a younger singer that was on our label. And that's Feeling in the Air, the original. And that's Mariah Carey. She came over. She came over and she was like, kind of like, I'll give you a story where she was like, yo, what's up with your man Freeway? Because of the battle he had with Cassie. Like she was really clued in. And but as a favor to me, she a big shout out to Freeway. He did a great job on the album and he's a real lyricist and to me he's a general. And he does what I think you should do as a rapper at that age that's been through what he's been through. But yeah, he took Mariah Carey off. She did it on a boat in in Capri for me. But I would have rather had Mariah Carey on that record. But she did. I gotta find that vocal.
Yeah, that would have been crazy if y'all had her on the hook.
It was. I had it. The thing was, Beanie started making decisions that I just would be like, go ahead. So every decision Beanie made was his. He chose to go the direction of Jay. That was his decision. Even though things were going on, I don't knock him for it. Like I said, I think like to me, everybody in Roc-A-Fella should have been a billionaire. And the question I always ask is, how come there's no more Roc-A-Fella? I left it on somebody's watch. How come there's no more Rockware? I left it on somebody's watch. What you should talk about is what did Roc-A-Fella look like when I had it, and then when I didn't. How cool was it before, and then it just evaporated. I don't understand why no one asked that question. To be logical, it'd be like, damn, when Roc-A-Fella was you was there, it was hot. Now it doesn't exist. When Rockware was there, and I was spending all this money, it was hot, but now it doesn't exist. How come these things don't exist anymore? And only no one that was a part of it has a volume of money. Let me just tell you something. Anyone that works every day, that's in front of a camera every day, that's doing shows every day, it's because they have to. That they got you buy, but you have bills that you have to maintain. Nobody really wants to do physical work. Wealth is to me how much you don't have to work and only do what you want. That's wealth to me.
Yeah, that's real talk. And Beans, he also told me that, when he got out of prison, him and Jay had a convo, and Jay told him personally that he didn't like how he was working with R. Kelly. But him telling me that made me think about you, and I wanted to ask you, did you have any issue with him working with R. Kelly?
I was gone. I checked out. I know when I saw the video and how he was dressed, I thought it was like contradicting. Like my issue with that would be, like, let's say for God's the personal, is that wasn't the type of artist that Beans was. He was more of a state property kind of guy, and that's what in me that was the vertical I wanted for him that I thought he would be successful at. But him like dressing up a different way and doing like that's just not. It was like when Beans was writing music for Puff. And I had to have a conversation with Puff after a while. Like, why you keep having my artists writing for you? Because we're not the same. Like, it's a different kind of thing. Like, I wouldn't have like an R&B artist or writer, even though like my artists they got to write for themselves. Or she was getting cut up really, you know, or there was a little less respect. But it just wouldn't make sense for his image. It didn't go with state property. It went with rockwear, and that's what other people from other cultures convinced him was you should do more rockwear looking. To the extent that he was kind of mad at me because I was like, nah, don't do rockwear. That's not you. Your state property. That's all. Like, why have two people doing the same vertical? But I love Beans. I love Beans. They're all my brothers. I love them all. I have no hate toward any of them. Disappointment, yes, but they're men. They have to make their own decisions. Did they realize the potential that I thought that they should have that I visualized for them? No, not at all. But it took us as a team to get where we had to go, and the team got broken up. So now everybody has to do what they got to do. It's every man for themselves now. But it's better when we're a team.